Good afternoon, everyone. My screen is visible for you. Okay. So, in the last session, in the last session, we had the human resource planning process. We had an overview on human resource planning process, its importance, and its objectives. Okay, so in today's session we will going to learn about job analysis. So the job analysis is the systematic study of jobs to identify the observable work activities, tasks, and responsibilities associated with a particular job or group of jobs. It is the process of collecting information relating to the operations and responsibilities pertaining to a specific job. So the job analysis can be split up into two words, that is job and analysis. So job means a collection of duties, tasks, and responsibilities which are assigned to an individual and which is different from other assignments. And analysis means the abstract separation of a whole into its constituent parts in order to study the parts and their relations. Thus, job analysis is a detailed and systematic study of jobs to know the nature and characteristics of the people to be employed on various jobs. It involves collection of necessary facts regarding jobs and their analysis. Job analysis also provides the basis for determining what type of information should be obtained from the applicants, from previous employers, and from other sources. So it is the determination of the tasks which comprise the job, and the skills, also knowledge, abilities, and responsibilities required by the workers for the successful performance, and which differentiates one job from the others. So it is the heart of the entire human resource practices. Therefore, it is very significant in every single organization. It assists any organization in turning the operational goal being developed into some particular human actions. So it is both a science and art. The science is a relatively large body of knowledge about the various methods of job analysis, including how information can be effectively classified for decision making purposes. The art of the process is about knowing how to collect information from employees and applying the science to obtain valid and consistent results. So, uh, definitions of job analysis by Edwin B. Filippo is job analysis is the process of studying and collecting information relating to the operations and responsibilities of specific job. Okay, and the second definition by Richard is job analysis is the method methodological compilation and study of work data in order to define and characterize each occupation in such a manner as to distinguish it from all others. Okay, moving to the next slide. Purposes of job analysis. or else we can say uh, importance or benefits of job analysis. So HR planning is the first, we can say, importance, purpose or benefit of job analysis. So what it how it works. So HR planning is the foundation for forecasting demand for and supply of human resources in an organization. Or we can say job analysis helps in forecasting human resource requirements in terms of knowledge and skills by showing lateral and vertical relations between jobs. It facilitates the formulation of a symmetric promotion and transfer policy. It also helps in determining quality of human resources needed in an organization. So human resource planning or HRP is work like this in job analysis. Next one is recruitment and selection. So recruitment generates a pool of candidates who are willing to perform in the organization, whereas selection selects the best suits candidate out of the available candidates who are supposed to perform well in the organization. It means job analysis is used to find out how and when to hire people for future job openings, and understanding of the skills needed and the positions that are vacant in future helps managers to plan and hire people in a symmetric way. For example, a company might be traditionally hiring MBA students for equity research. A recent job analysis showed that the positions could be filled by graduates with an analytical mind. Now, this would help the company hire uh, equity analysis from a greater number of available graduates by offering even a slightly lesser salary. Okay, so in this way, recruitment helps in job analysis and selection. Without a proper understanding of what is to be done on a job, it is not possible to select a right person. For example, if a supervisor manager has not clearly identified what a clerk has to do, it is difficult to find if the person selected must be able to position stores items. So run a cash register or keep the account books. Okay, so in this way, the selection method or the selection helps in job analysis. So the next one is training and development. So by comparing knowledge and skills of current employees with the extended level of performance, the need of training and development requirement can be assessed. Okay, so if there is any confusion about what the job is and what is supposed to be done, proper training efforts cannot be initiated. Whether or not a current or potential job holder requires additional training can be determined only after the specific needs of the jobs have been identified through a job analysis. So that's why training and development is important in job. The next one is compensation management. Uh, so it helps compensation management is helps to rank the job in order to determine pay surveys. Hence, it helps in compensation decisions. It means in the area of compensation, it is helpful to know the relative value of a particular job to the company before a dollar value is placed on it. From an internal perspective, the more significant its duties and responsibilities, the more job is worth. So the uh, jobs that require greater knowledge, skills, and abilities should be worth more to the firm. Okay, so the next one is benefits of job analysis. So the performance appraisal, career planning, job design, employee counseling are the benefits of uh, we can say a job analysis. So performance appraisal is by comparing what an employee is supposed to be doing or best on a job analysis to what the individual has actually done. The worth of that person can be assessed. Ultimately, every organization has to pay a fair remuneration to people based on their performance. So, to achieve this, it is necessary to compare what individuals should do or as per their performance standards with what they have actually done. It means as per job analysis. The next one, okay. Then employee counseling. Managers can properly counsel employees about their careers when they understand the different jobs in the organization. Likewise, employees can better appreciate their career options when they understand the specific needs of various other jobs. And job analysis can point out areas that our employee might need to develop a career further. Then job design. With the help of knowledge about job recruitment, uh, improvement in work design and work methods can be made to improve productivity and job satisfaction. Also, once a job are understood properly, it is easy to locate loopholes and undertake remedial steps. We can eliminate unnecessary movements, simplify certain steps, and improve the existing ones through continuous monitoring. In short, we can redesign jobs to match the mental makeup of employees. So, in this way, job analysis is beneficiary for both individuals and for organization. The moving to the next point, process of job analysis. So the steps involved in job analysis process are determination of use of job analysis, strategic choices in job analysis, information collection, information processing, job description, and job specification. So these all are the process steps involved in the job analysis process. So we will see these steps one by one. Okay, so first one is determination of use of job analysis. So initially, job analysis was used primarily for recruitment and selection. As the complexity of managing human resources increased, the scope of the use of job analysis also increased, covering many more areas. Therefore, before undertaking the actual procedure of job analysis, the organization should define the use of job analysis. Then the second step in job analysis process is strategic choices in job analysis. So, with regard to job analysis, an organization is required to make following choices like employee involvement, level of details. We will see it like one by one. So, employee involvement is collecting job related information, duties, responsibilities, skills, and knowledge required to perform the jobs. Employees are often asked to supply vital information about the contents of job given their familiar with it. The next one is level of details. So the level of analysis may vary from detailed as in time and motion studies to broad as in analyzing jobs based on general duties. The level of analysis affects the nature of the data collected. Then another strategic choice for this is when and how often. So it relates to the timing and frequency of conducting job analysis. Next one is past oriented versus future oriented. So, if an organization is changing rapidly due to fast growth or technological change, uh, a more future oriented approach to job analysis may be desired. So, traditional job analysis information describes how the job has been done in the past and the manner in which it is being currently done. So, if necessary, a future orientation can be given to the job analysis, and predictions may be made as to how the job will be done in future and the way it should be done. So, this will allow firms to begin hiring and training people for these jobs prior to the actual change. And the source of job data. Although the most direct sources of information about a job is the job holder, a number of other human and non-human sources are available. So these sources may provide information which an average job holder cannot, thereby enabling the job analysis to question the job holder more effectively. Okay, so this is about the strategic choices in job analysis. Then the third one is information collection. So this step involves decisions on three issues like types of job analysis information. That is, considerable information is needed for the successful accomplishment of job analysis. The job analyst identifies the job's actual duties and responsibilities and gathers other types of data related to work and activities, workers oriented activities, machines, tools, equipments, and worked, used, or job related tangibles and intangibles tools, etc. Then the next issue is persons involved in information collection. So there are three categories of persons who may be involved in information collection, that is trained job analysts, supervisors, and job holders. Then the third issue in which is involved in the steps of information collection is methods of data collection. So various methods are used to collect the information for job analysis like questionnaire, checklist, interviews, observations, technical conferences. So these all are the tools that are using collection of data. Then the uh, fourth step in this process is information processing. So once the job information has been collected, it needs to be processed so that it would be useful in various panel functions. So the different job analysis methods yield different outputs or products. However, the most common outputs of job analysis are job description and job specification. Okay, so these are the process, or these are the steps involved in job analysis process. Okay, so moving to the next slide or next uh, topic, that is writing job description. So, job description is a written list of jobs, duties, responsibilities, uh, reporting, relationships, working conditions, and supervisory responsibilities involved in a job. And job description may be split up into two words, that is job and description. So job means a collection of duties, tasks and responsibilities which are assigned to an individual and which is different from other assignments. So description means the act of describing something. Okay. Thus, job description is a built down statement of the job analysis, and it serves to identify the job for consideration by by job analysts. It is a written statement of what the job holder does, how it is done, under what condition it is done, and why it is done. So it describes what the job is all about, throwing light on job content, environment and conditions of employment. Also, it is descriptive in nature and describes the duties and responsibilities required to do a specific job along with the purpose and scope of a job. So the job description is also valuable tool for communicating expressions, evaluating and managing performance, terminating employment in an employee who cannot meet the job requirements, and much more. Uh, all all while keeping the company out of potential legal trouble. So this is about job description. Uh, Then the definition of job description by Edwin B. Filippo is the first and immediate product of job analysis process is job description. It is descriptive in nature and constitutes a record of existing and uh, pertinent job facts. So, this is about job description. Then the process of writing job description. Since job descriptions can be used for many different purposes, employers should take care of write them as comprehensively as possible. So there are some guidelines must be considered while writing a job descriptions, and that are arrange duties and responsibilities in a local sequential order, be brief and precise. Try to avoid generalizations or ambiguous words. Then indicate the frequency of occurrence of each duty. The next one is do not refer to specific people. Then be objective and accurate in a description of job. And the last one is use action words. So all these steps are involved in or we can say all these guidelines must be considered while writing a job description. So we will see it one by one. So the first one is arrange duties and responsibilities in a logical or sequential order. So being with the task requiring the greatest amount of time or carrying the greatest responsibility. Okay. So the second one is be brief and precise. So it should be brief. The job description should be brief, factual, and precise. Avoid statements of opinion. Give a clear picture of the job. Explain all the duties and responsibilities of the job in greater detail. Then the third one is try to avoid generalizations. So use specific language and while writing the job description, use specific language and be exact in the meaning. For example, handle mail. So it might be better expressed as sort mail or distribute mail. So in this way, uh, you have to try to avoid generalization or ambiguous words. The fourth one is indicate the frequency of occurrence of each duty. One popular method is to have a column on the left on the list of tasks which corresponding percentages that present the estimated amount of time devoted to each primary duty. Then the next one is do not refer to specific people. So instead of referring to specific people, uh, it should be referred to titles on and positions. Then the next one is be objective and accurate in describing the job. So you have to not you have to careful not to describe the present incumbent, someone who may have just been fired from poor performance, or someone who was recently promoted for outstanding job performance. Then the last one is use action words. So this means any word that describes a specific function, such as organizes. So within a sentence, one word should stand out as most descriptive. A word that could readily stand alone. So this action word will also convey the reader a degree of responsibility. For example, compare directs to understand the description of. So try to begin such sentence with an action word. The first word used should introduce the functioning being described. So in this way, the job description have to write.